Welcome to Make It Your Business, the podcast. Get the advice you need to grow your business by getting guidance from industry experts and interviews with successful small business owners. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.
Morning.
Good morning.
Episode 2.
The second episode.
What I wanted to chat today on Make It Your Business is what is marketing.
Okay.
Now, I know that's pretty basic for you, but it's dawned on me that a lot of small business owners who don't currently market wouldn't necessarily know what it is, how to do it, or why it's so important.
I also think a lot of people get confused between marketing and sales.
Okay.
And obviously there are two separate things. But yeah, obviously we'll get into that and give nooks and crannies of it. But
yeah, it's interesting because I think I've said this to you before. With my experience with business, when you come into a business, generally my view is that everyone has a skill set. So when I look back on businesses that I've set up and they've been successful, I've really got in my toolkit systemization. I like to organize things and marketing. And I can directly attribute marketing to pretty much 90% of the business success, as in the growth and easy acquisition of new clients. So as much as people want to talk about customer service and they're all super important, I don't think small businesses, they just assume it's pie in the sky, expensive agencies. But can we talk a little bit about what marketing is, why some of the maybe cheaper or easier application tools people could put in play?
yeah, of course. So I actually brought up the actual definition of marketing.
Okay, go on.
From Google. So it's the action or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. So in a nutshell, it's like portraying your goods or services to the consumers who are going to purchase said services or goods. So like we mainly focus on the digital side of that, but obviously there are, also like you got the traditional side of it, which is obviously, like giving out physical leaflets and, doing mail distribution things. We don't tend to focus as much on that because we do the digital side, which is all about sort of website.
Well, let's start with the digital side, because the internet's not going away anytime soon, is it? Spend's increasing. Even consumer patterns, as far as I certainly know within my businesses and a household, we will, even if we're going to, okay, so my daughter needs some new clothes for school. We went online first and looked through them. There's definitely become almost a research element now to consumer buying, isn't it?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like people, whether it's, looking at reviews or looking at sort of, what people said about things, or like, comparing different products, like it used to be, years ago, you'd ask your friend to like, where'd you get that from? Or like, where'd you go for getting this stuff? And real recommendations, but I think we're coming away from that. It still happens, but we're coming more and more away from that. People tend to go, online, mainly to Google, to try and work out, where's my closest dentist? Where's my closest hairdresser?
That is the new word of mouth, isn't it?
Exactly. And it's like, not only have you got businesses that are available offering those services, you also got, personalized reviews from customers who have been to those businesses. And it's very easy to get a good idea of whether a business is good or bad at what it does, and that effectively influences consumer decisions.
But it's so interesting because, okay, I'll tell you a story because you'll laugh at me. So I went to the hairdressers a couple of weeks ago. So a friend of mine introduced me to this hairdresser. So the first time he was like, "Oh, I've got the app. I'll book it for you." I was like, "Oh, that's not." I don't have a personal assistant, but I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So it was a nice guy. It was a haircut, cool. So then I went to book it again. I could not find a booking system anywhere. Eventually found it on Facebook. On their Facebook, there was a link. So I went and had my haircut. And then I spent 20 minutes with the guy after. I was like, and I set his booking system link up to his Google page.
Okay.
Because I was frustrated that I couldn't quickly find him and book a haircut. And obviously, once I explained it to him and what he would get out of it, I mean, he was so good mood. Couldn't believe I'd taken the time. But to us, that's very, very simple.
Yeah, like a lot of what we do is the customer journey. And you've got to try and take a step back from being a business owner and, looking at, your business from one side of it and pretend you're a customer.
Yeah.
And then just think, like if I was, in your case, looking for a hairdresser, what would I do is try and find a hairdresser? And, obviously you go to Google and then you want to look at how easy it is to book or buy whatever you're offering. And the easier you make it, ultimately, the more bookings or sales you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you've got a link, as you say, on Google, then, you can easily click it, book in, and then, you've got someone who's coming in for.
But I think it resonated with me because, he was just an average business owner trying to do what he does very well.
Yeah.
But he didn't understand marketing. And like any of us who don't understand something, we tend to ignore it. But it really is important. I mean, certainly going forward now, whether we're looking at the sort of generational habits or the psychological side of a potential depression, or recessional elements, like we've got to be everywhere our clients are, haven't we?
Yeah, I think the thing that surprised me most about marketing is how in-depth you can get and, how specific you can be with your targeting. So particularly with the digital side of it. So you've got the Google ads, for example, and, you can even go down to sort of, obviously having, locations of where you want the ads to be shown, like demographic of like whether you want it to be males, females, you look at age range, even to the device they're using. And then, obviously the social side of it, you can, target people who've got active interests in different things. And, people that had, anniversaries recently, birthdays, literally anything sometimes it is super scary and you think about it.
I was about to say, no, I love it as much as you do.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to put myself in the shoes now of somebody who might be listening to this and say, well, that sounds great, but it sounds complex, scary. Where do I start? So can we go back? Can we pretend we're talking to, my 7-year-old daughter? Yeah. Let's just really dumb it down, not for, anyone's sake other than they don't really understand marketing.
Okay.
So it's the acquisition of clients, is that right? Mm-hmm. Or services, right. So essentially what you're saying is you need to be where your clients are.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we touched on this on another episode, but number one thing, so, you say to yourself, right, we're going to do some marketing.
Yep.
Perhaps you can't afford an agency. What's the number one thing you say to people? So it'll be website. Yeah, website online, so people can actually find you. So even if they do read your business name, at least something comes up. Yeah. There's more information about what you offer. Yeah, and there's plenty of providers for that. I actually saw the other day Google have on Google My Business. Yep. We'll talk in a moment. I believe a website should be your Sunday best, so it should be good. But let's hypothetically say you don't have any money. Yep. There's nothing you do. Google will allow you to build a website, won't they, on their platform? There are cheap website builders as well, and you've got the likes of Wix and Squarespace and things like that. I've never personally used them. No, I do appreciate you're there. So we're talking about different people now. So let's say you're just starting out. It's your first website. Yep. You don't have any money. It is not. It's better to have something rather than nothing. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we know the merit of the investment of, if you are a carpenter, you wouldn't use the cheapest tools. Yep. You use the best tools to get good finish. Yep. And we understand with a website, the right website, because time and time again with the agency, a client will have a website and we'll change it, and instantly their sales jump. Yes. So I'm not necessarily, I do appreciate the value there. Yep. So again, if you have a website and you are getting some traffic, potentially the next stage would be to review that website. Yep. Okay, so if I'm with Joe Blogs, I go, okay, right, I need to do my website. I need to be more online. I need to be better. Yep. What would be your advice to, I'm getting a Google website company, marketing agency, how would I evaluate those suppliers? Because for every service out in the world, there's the good, the bad, the ugly, isn't there? Have you got 2 or 3 tips to sort of help people pick the right? So you get different, also sort of like stripping that down, like, to some bits you as a business owner will be able to do yourself, and then others you'll have to, try and find a company to help out with. It's always best to try and do as much yourself if you're trying to save money, because obviously, it's the cheapest way. But yeah, if you don't know or you're not as technical minded, then you're going to have to enlist for help with a company to, help us build a website. So how would you assess it? Say there's 3 different web companies I found online. Yep. Is there any questions or hints? So like
first and foremost, again, you look at reviews. So look at, what customers have said before about, what's been built. Secondly, for web design in particular, I would look for previous examples of websites that have been built. So you'd ask the company if they've got a portfolio of websites that you can go through and see. It will also give you a good idea of the style of a website that they build, and if they've got clients that are in the similar industry to what you do. Because that's obviously quite important, because if they know the industry and they've done previous work with those customers, then it's going to be easier for them to, try creating your website. And yeah, you've got to try and make sure, there's so many different things, like without getting into too many different.
No, I do appreciate that. Yeah, I was just trying to think.
I'd say basic on-page SEO, basic on-page SEO is like another must. Like, there's one thing having a website, but you want people to be able to find it. So yeah, going back to your example, if you're a carpenter and say, Milton Keynes, you want to, have your website so it shows, someone types in carpenter Milton Keynes. And if you have a website, just having a website won't mean you're automatically showing that list. So you've got to do certain things to your website in order for it to show on Google. So, if you've got a web company that can design your website and do some of the basic SEO as well, then it's going to naturally help.
I was talking to somebody about SEO, they didn't understand. And I said, well, look, you don't need to understand what it is, because, it's essentially a name for a list of hundreds of actions that are taken on your website to make it favourable to the search engines. But I use the example of compound interest. I know not everyone's into financial side of things, but it was, I can't remember, I think it was Warren Buffett, but it was called the eighth wonder of the world, and how mathematically that story, I think, whereas they start off with 10p on the first hole, they do 18 holes of golf, and they say, oh, let's double it every hole. And by the 18th, it was thousands of pounds, and that's how I think about SEO. It's only after 12 months you realise how valuable it is. But there's a time journey, isn't there? Because you have to do it little and often, get things changed, allow it. I mean, again, I'm thinking to myself, I've got a business, I'm starting to see some trouble. There's Roxy dogs, okay, hun. We're a pet-friendly place. But I'm looking at it from my perspective. Selfishly, I'm coming into this, okay, great, I've got a website, I've started the SEO. I'm not going to see results straight away, am I?
No, it takes time.
So what is the correct course of action then? Because let's hypothetically say I need customers in the next 2 months, or I've got to turn the lights off.
If you're at that point, then like SEO is not going to help. So you need to be looking
You should still be doing it. You should start the journey.
100%. Like, depends what your budgets are. If you've got like a specific budget where you can only spend it in, it's make or break for you, then like I probably wouldn't invest in SEO at that point.
Okay.
Because it's obviously you're not going to get results until June.
So what do we do, Chris?
Well, again, it depends on the business. Like social ads don't work very well for, but only targeted ads.
Like consumer orientated. Okay, so say you're a florist. What you're saying is you could run an ad on Facebook.
To target people who are, like
birthdays, anniversaries.
Weddings.
Okay. And then not all businesses work on social, do they?
No. So
no, I should rephrase that. Investment return. Some do amazing, don't they? But others. Okay, so say you are showing a product that potentially your audience would like to buy. Very, very good on social. And although it's changing, I don't believe if I needed a plumber tomorrow, I wouldn't go on Facebook. Personally, and I think a lot of the there is a generational shift coming, I believe. But still, you would go to a search-orientated mechanism such as Google, Bing, Yahoo. I don't know, is Archsteve still around? But you would type it in, wouldn't you?
100%. It depends on the industry and like who you try to target. And ultimately, if you've got a business and you're not sure, who your potential customer is or, where you're sourcing from, obviously we can help. Like we do that all the time, like we get clients phoning us and sort of like saying, what would you recommend as the best marketing strategy?
Yes.
We as marketeers, obviously, we've done it before for all these different types of businesses. And we as marketeers, like, would naturally recommend the best path for your business. So there's no one rule, for every type of business.
No, but on say that sort of that business orientated services, with the pay-per-click side, I'm a big fan because of the instant gratification. You can target those keywords. I know there's negatives to it.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of clients who've started it, got some results, but spending way too much.
Yeah.
The clicks up, the work. It's hard to get it right, but hand on heart, if you start a campaign on pay-per-click, you will get some results.
Yeah. Like providing it's set up properly.
Yeah.
It's quite important to make sure that everything's, set up, because otherwise you just go burn your cash and, spend money for getting little to no return.
So basically, to conclude what you're saying, obviously it's super important to get marketing done.
Gets results.
Website, own your own real estate.
Yep.
SEO, if you're in that position.
Yep. But you got to expect to get
over a period of time, but the results will be amazing. If you need more instant results, look at social ads. So, and again, think about your client.
Yep.
If they are 30 to 70, I know this is a very rough thing, but you're thinking Facebook.
Yep.
If you're selling to 20-year-olds, we're thinking TikTok.
Yep.
That's not a hard and fast rule, but think about where your clients hang out.
Yep.
If you're a service-orientated business with a search type function, I need a plumber, I need an electrician.
Yep. Google Ads.
Yep. Go and reset. That's all.
Google My Business.
Google My Business. Set your Google My Business page up.
If you haven't got one yet.
That's free, isn't it?
Yep. And obviously people trust Google. So, if you've got a listing on there and it's, people go on it to search. So,
no, that's awesome. No, some good tips. No, thanks for coming in. Good chat, dudes.
Cool.
Thanks for listening to Make It Your Business. We'll see you next time.